Right, well today we're going to start to do a picture about daffodils, and I'm going to show you how to draw and paint 3 different styles of daffodil. And one will be a little bit easier than the other 2, so there will be a daffodil that everybody will be able to manage to draw. Now you'll need to get a piece of paper, white paper, have your pencils, your rubber in case you make a mistake. And then for when we add the colour in later on, you could have felt pens or crayons, or you might have a little box of paints in your house that you could use. Or maybe you've got some tubes of paint like I've got out here. And I've just put my paint today on paper plates, and I've just used a plastic tub from the cupboard to put the water in. And if you've got a piece of tissue to help to clean and dry your brush, that would be great. Before you start to draw your daffodil, you need to have a look at what a real daffodil looks like. So look in your garden, out of your front window, and if you don't have any growing nearby you, you could look maybe in a book that you might have or online. Find some pictures of some daffodils to look at. Your grown-up would be able to help you if you couldn't manage that yourself. So just after you've had a really good look at your daffodil, we're going to start drawing. So I'm going to start with an easier daffodil first of all, and I'm going to begin by doing a little circle about the size of a 10-pence piece. Then inside, I'm going to do a smaller circle that looks a bit like a staring eye, and then a little teeny one inside. And then I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to do a curvy line going around the outer circle. I'm not letting my pencil go too fast. And then I'm going to do the same on the next line. Nice curvy line. Not too fast. Then I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to do this really lightly to help me get things in the right place. Take a line going up very lightly and a line going down very lightly. Then a line going out to the side. And then out here, and then another line out to the side there, and a line here. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. Then I'm going to do the petal at the top of the flower, and I'm going to come from the inside. I'm going to curve my pencil up, and it's like the shape of a leaf. Doesn't have to be perfect. 1 to the top and then 1 to the bottom. Now it doesn't actually even have to touch your centerpiece if you didn't want it to. You might have seen how the petals overlap and want them to have a little gap between. You can do that. Then I'm going to look at this line here. And I'm going to do another curvy line, and it's coming from behind. And it's coming down there. And then I'm going to have one in here, so I'm filling in this space here. It's kind of slightly squarer. I've got 2 lines on this side, so I'm going to come out, do my curve, and it's tucked in behind. Sometimes you have to turn your paper if that helps you to get everything. And I'm going to fill in that space. So there is the shape of your easy daffodil. And you could leave those lines, but if you didn't feel that they were in quite the right place, you could gently rub them out. I've done it a little bit thicker than I would normally do it, but I need you to be able to see it. Okay, and then I'm just going to do a line more in the centre there. And I might do a couple of lines. I could have a couple of lines in each. And I'll do 3, and that's a bigger one. Okay, and then I'm on to the stalk. So I'm just going to take it from here down. It has got a slightly bumpy bit, but I can't see all of it, so it's got a little bumpy bit in there. Take that down there. Oh, I'm going over the top of it. Oh, I made it. There we go. Right. So that's my easy daffodil. Now I'm going to go up to this big space up here, and I'm going to do a daffodil facing this way. I'm going to start by doing an oval shape like that. And then I'm going to do the bell shape so it looks like a bell on its side. I'm going to come down here so it's like a bell. Then I'm going to do that wavy line again. Curvy line going all the way around the outside. And then I'm going to do a little curvy line inside, but I'm not going to go all the way around. I'm only going to do it a little bit. You could put a few little lines over it. Don't get carried away with too many lines. Just a few to try and give it the feeling of the shape. Now, this time, to help me get the petals in the right place, I'm going to do a very faint oval going all the way around. I'm going to rub that out later on, but it's going to help me get everything in the right place. I'm then going to do my lines again. Remember the lines we did in the other flower? I'm going to do the same this time. I'm going to go from the top. Now we're going to rub these out, so don't worry about them. They're not going to spoil anything. One from here, one coming down here. It's like a star. It's like a star. It's putting everything in the right place. It's a guide, and we can rub those lines out afterwards. So I'm going to go to the top point, like the top of the star, and I'm going to do my petal shape again. I'm going to come here. This is like a triangle almost, the ones I'm starting with. And remember, they're not a perfect shape. They have slightly squarer edges in places. Coming down to the bottom here. And then I can fill in this part of the petal up here. And I've missed one out. This one's going to be coming behind. You can make these as big or as small as you wanted. And they don't all have to look exactly the same. Now I'm happy with that. Now remember I said to you though, I wouldn't need all those pencil lines. So I'm going to rub them out. And that's why if you do it really lightly, you won't see them showing through, but it's good to have them as a guide. Rub that out, rub out in there. And then if you need to, you can go back over. Just make sure you're happy with your shapes. Change them if you're not. Okay. And then I'm going to do my little lines again, like I did in the other daffodil. There we go. Going over that one because I couldn't see it. Now this time I'm going to have my stalk coming out to the side, and it's got a kind of a rounded section at the top and a bumpy bit as it goes down. A bit like a bendy arts drinking straw. I'm going all the way to the bottom this time. Have to have a steady hand. Cuts in there. Remember that drinking straw? Steady hand, it's like a road. Keep the even distance all the way so it's like a road. And there's your second daffodil. So now I'm going to use this space to do my last daffodil. And again, I'm going to start with a bell shape or a vase. I'm going round There's the bell. And then remember the curvy top? Well, I'm going to do a curvy line, and I'm going to take it round, curvy line, and then inside a little line, like with our circle on the top. Put a few lines in to make it look rounded, like that. And then I need to think about those petals, those 6 lines. So I'm going to do one coming down here, but this time I'm going to have 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to start with this one here, and that will help me get everything into the right place. So I'm going to come round, I'm making that shape. And this time you can see I'm doing a slight bend in it. It's a little bit trickier, this daffodil. And then this time I'm going to come to here. I'm going to work my way from this one. It's slightly squarer, as you can see. And then I'm going to go to this one out here at the side. Come in. And then I've got my last one to do. So I'm not going to forget about anything because I've got those lines. Come over here, work your way from that middle one, and it can go in behind. This daffodil's opening up quite a bit. And then my last daffodil petal there. So if I got them all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take my rubber again, rub out those lines so they're not in my way. And then you can decide what lines you want to put in to show. I'm going to put it here, and it looks as if the petal is flopping out. They're flopping out a bit in this one. And then a little line from the top of that. Now I need to do my stalk. So I'm coming down again with a funny thick bit at the beginning, like your straw. And then it's coming down here. Now, once you've done your 3 daffodils, and you might decide you're going to do 3 that are all the same. That's up to you. Or you could draw a daffodil in a different way. I'm going to do some leaves, some grass, thick bits going up here. In between, I go behind, and a steady, steady hand. And make sure you go right to the bottom. You can have some coming out from the side. Have a little bend. You know how the leaves around a daffodil often flop out to the side. So you're going to try and show that. You might have one coming from here. Try and make it interesting. Have them overlapping. Like that. Make it interesting. You can have a little line in the centre if you want to help you show that bend. Got a space over here, so I'm going to have one coming here, a thicker one, and then I'm going to have one coming up and curving it there. I don't want to get carried away and have too many, because remember, I want the daffodils themselves to stand out. And that's the first part of your picture, your drawing.